They sat down across from me and said, "We just need to get this done. We close in 6 weeks." 30 minutes later, I had to tell them their loan was denied. And the look on their faces is something I will never forget. This is the story of how a couple earning $200,000 a year could not qualify for a mortgage. And it is far more common than you think. I have been a mortgage loan officer for 25 years. And the number one misconception I hear from buyers is that income determines whether you get approved. It does not. Income is only one piece of the puzzle. And for this couple, their income was the only piece that looked good. Let me walk you through exactly what happened, and then I will show you how to make sure this never happens to you. Their names were Marcus and Jenna. Marcus was an engineer making $120,000. Jenna was a marketing director making $80,000. Together, $200,000 a year. Solid careers. No employment gaps. No job changes. On the surface, this should have been one of the easiest approvals I had ever done. But when I pulled their credit and started looking at their debts, the picture changed completely. Marcus had $110,000 in student loans with a monthly payment of $900. He also had a car payment of $650 a month on a truck he had bought 2 years earlier. Jenna had $65,000 in student loans with a monthly payment of $500. She had 2 credit cards with a combined balance of $28,000 and minimum payments totaling $700 a month. And they had just financed new living room furniture 6 months earlier at $350 a month. Add all of that up. $900 plus $650 plus $500 plus $700 plus $350. That is $3,100 a month in existing debt payments before they even add a mortgage. Now, here is where the math kills them. On a $375,000 home with 10% down, their estimated mortgage payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, would have been roughly $2,600 a month. So their total monthly obligations would be $3,100 in existing debt, plus $2,600 in housing costs. That is $5,700 a month. Their gross monthly income at $200,000 a year is approximately $16,600. $5,700 divided by $16,600 gives you a debt-to-income ratio of 34% on the back end. That actually sounds fine. Most conventional loans allow up to 43%, sometimes up to 50% with strong compensating factors. But here is what happened. When I pulled their credit reports, Marcus had a score of 622. Jenna had a 641. Those scores are below the threshold for conventional loans with the best terms. At those scores, the interest rate goes up, which increases the monthly payment, which changes the debt-to-income ratio. With the higher rate that their credit scores qualified them for, the estimated mortgage payment jumped from $2,600 to just over $2,900 a month. Now the total monthly obligations hit $6,000. $6,000 divided by $16,600 is a 36% back-end ratio. Still technically under the limit. But conventional loans at those credit scores with that debt load require something called layered risk analysis. The underwriter looked at the full picture. Below average credit scores, high existing debt, limited savings after the down payment, no reserves for emergencies, and a purchase price at the very top of what their income could support. The underwriter denied the loan, not because any single factor was disqualifying on its own, but because the combination of factors created too much risk. This is what the mortgage industry calls layered risk. One weakness is usually fine. 2 weaknesses can be managed. 3 or more weaknesses stacked together, and the underwriter has grounds to deny even if you technically meet the numbers. Marcus and Jenna had 4 layers of risk. Below average credit scores, high existing consumer debt, limited reserves, and a purchase price that left no margin for error. So what could they have done differently? Let me give you the 5 steps that would have saved their deal. Step 1. Know your debt-to-income ratio before you start house shopping. Take every single monthly debt payment you make and add them up. Then divide that number by your gross monthly income. If the result is over 35% before adding a mortgage, You have work to do. You need to pay down debt before you apply, not after. Step 2. Check your credit scores at least 6 months before applying. Marcus and Jenna had no idea their scores were in the low 600s until I pulled them. If they had checked 6 months earlier, they could have paid down the credit card balances, disputed any errors, and potentially gained 50 to 80 points. That would have qualified them for a better rate, a lower payment, and a completely different underwriting outcome. Step 3. Do not finance anything in the year before you plan to buy a house. The furniture payment of $350 a month was not the reason they got denied, but it was one more layer of risk that the underwriter used against them. Every new financed purchase adds a monthly obligation that counts against your debt-to-income ratio. If Marcus and Jenna had waited on the furniture, their ratio would have been lower, and their risk profile would have been cleaner. Step 4. Build reserves. Lenders want to see that you have money left over after your down payment and closing costs. Ideally, you should have at least 2 to 3 months of total housing payments sitting in savings after closing. Marcus and Jenna were putting almost everything they had toward the down payment, which left them with almost nothing in reserves. The underwriter saw that and flagged it as another risk factor. Step 5. Consider a lower purchase price. This is the advice nobody wants to hear. But if Marcus and Jenna had looked at homes in the $300,000 range instead of $375,000, the math would have worked. Lower purchase price means a lower loan amount, which means a lower payment, which means a better debt-to-income ratio, which means fewer risk layers for the underwriter. $200,000 a year is a strong income. But income without financial discipline is just a bigger number going to other people. Marcus and Jenna were earning well and spending most of it on debt payments. Their lifestyle had eaten their borrowing power. Here is the part of the story that most people need to hear. After I denied their loan, Marcus and Jenna did not give up. They came back to me 8 months later. In those 8 months, they paid off both credit cards completely. They paid off the furniture. They saved an additional $15,000 in reserves. And Jenna's credit score went from 641 to 704. When they reapplied, their debt-to-income ratio had dropped from 36% to 24%. Their credit scores qualified them for a significantly better interest rate. They had reserves. They had a clean debt profile. The underwriter approved the loan in 3 days. They closed on a house at $320,000. Not the 4-bedroom colonial they originally wanted, but a beautiful 3-bedroom that they could comfortably afford. And they told me it was the best decision they ever made, because for the first time in years, they were not stressed about money. Here is what I need you to take away from this story. Your income does not determine your approval. Your complete financial profile does. A household earning $200,000 can get denied while a household earning $75,000 gets approved, because the $75,000 household has no debt, strong credit, and solid reserves. If you are planning to buy a home in the next 12 months, here is what you need to do right now. First, pull your credit scores from all 3 bureaus. You can do this for free at annualcreditreport.com. Know your numbers. Second, calculate your debt-to-income ratio. Add up every monthly debt payment and divide by your gross monthly income. If you are over 35%, start paying down debt now. Third, stop financing things. No new cars. No new furniture. No new credit cards. Every dollar you commit to a monthly payment is a dollar that reduces your borrowing power. Fourth, build your reserves. Start putting money aside every paycheck into a savings account you do not touch. 2 to 3 months of your expected housing payment is the target. The lender is not just looking at what you earn. They are looking at what you owe, what you have saved, and how responsibly you have managed your money. Income gets you in the door. Everything else determines whether you walk out with a mortgage. If you are buying a home in the next 12 months, subscribe to this channel right now. Every single week, I break down exactly what lenders look for, exactly what kills deals, and exactly what 25 years of mortgage experience has taught me about helping buyers close on their dream homes. No fluff, No jargon, just the information that actually protects your deal. I will see you on the next one.